It's about time that we got a freaking Instagram, man. It's about time. I've been waiting so long, I thought my you-know-whats was gonna drop on the floor. I couldn't believe it for my own eyes. But these guys finally got up the IG page. We're official now, fans out there, and Mom.
Well, I knew you were gonna bring that up, and I was just waiting for you to say something. And of course, the moment he wants to address it is the second Len starts rolling. Once Len starts rolling, Puma's like, let's put them on blast. But Puma does have a huge part in the Instagram too. But of course, we've been trying to gather content.
Yeah.
We're all backed up. We got a lot of stuff to produce, a bunch of news. But now you're going to see a lot of stuff. What about some of those reels? Yo,
I love them.
Your Derrick Henry reel?
Yeah, that was going off a little bit. Derrick Henry. You know, I love my running backs. Whether this guy is 34, 33, I don't think anyone is stopping him.
That reel, unbelievable, man. But that's the thing, is that I feel like that's what people want to see. They want to see us talking about players, performances, projections.
Correct, yes.
And that's what we're going to continue doing.
Of course, and you know, the millennial in me, and I'm sure in you, sometimes the Gen Zs, that's why we got them on staff, sometimes they could do stuff where it makes us look great.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank them because they are the reason why we look so good up there.
Honestly, man, when it comes to like the editing and obviously trying to engage with the audience,
give them some props
stuff.
too. That's
absolutely.
Cool.
I mean, I know but yeah, you got to do something like that for us.
Next time is going to be the baby IG. What is it? The AI faces.
Yeah,
that's next on the list.
Len with the AI. I mean, he's always making these weird videos and pictures and putting it on the screen for us.
Yeah.
Even in NJ Gourmet, we're like doing things like that all the time. I mean, these kids these days with technology, it's wild, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the thing, is that we have so much information and access to information now. Yeah, that's not an appropriate one, but
yeah. But hey, we are the Fantasy Wise.
Yes, welcome to the show.
We are here.
We are here today, baby, and obviously it's a big day in New York today.
Yes.
The Knicks teeing off against the Celtics, Game 6.
Hopefully they could put it away, man.
Listen,
we've been waiting.
New York is in desperate need of a championship.
Yes.
And on multiple sports, so I'm praying. But yeah, welcome to the family. We're your hosts, Mike Meals.
Joey Puma.
The one and only.
The one and only, the myth, the man, the legend. Yes, I just did myself.
Listen, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Obviously now follow us on Instagram. Len, throw the handle up there. At Fantasy Wise, guys. We've been putting up stuff every day.
Right.
A couple of videos a day. Let you get familiar.
Yeah.
But I think it's time we get down to the inside scoop.
It's time to get down to football, business. That's why we're here.
There's a lot of stuff happening in the league right now. One of the most notable acquisitions, trades that have happened since we haven't been here, since we seen you last, George Pickens. He was traded to the Dallas Cowboys with a 6th-round pick in exchange for a 3rd and future 5th-round pick. So the Steelers and Cowboys made a deal.
Yeah, no, Mike, this is awesome for Dallas. They've been looking for that second wide receiver ever since Amari Cooper left 3 years ago. They have needed someone to take up those targets. Brandon Cooks couldn't do it. They got him a year too late. And everybody remembers Michael Gallup. He wasn't it either. But this definitely helps. A prime wide receiver in his contract year, no less. You're talking about a 24-year-old. He is ready to explode. I feel ready to break out, especially with a quarterback with credibility. I mean, if you look at the past, George Pickens hasn't had a real quarterback. Mason Rudolph's of the world, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and so forth. Kenny Pickett. He hasn't really had a strong quarterback in that room to get him the ball like a Dak Prescott. Mike, just a couple of stats, especially for fantasy. He had the 2024 fantasy finish. He was wide receiver 41.
I know.
I mean,
brutal.
That is brutal, especially a guy with his talent. Played 14 games, started 12. I mean, again, the numbers can just be thrown away. He has the talent. I think this is a win for Dallas, and it's a need, and they had to get it done.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it's a win for both parties. I mean, George Pickens, clearly, he had issues in Pittsburgh. We all know, I tell you all the time, I'm an attitude guy. George Pickens displayed poor attitude all the time. The guy was a headache to deal with. And I think he needed a fresh start.
Right.
Dallas, you bring him in. Maybe this helps CeeDee Lamb value a little bit, having someone alongside him. That way, putting more distractions out there for the defense.
Oh, right, correct.
You know, kind of leveling the playing
Someone
field.
else to think of.
Exactly. Somebody else to target in on.
Right.
So for CeeDee Lamb, it could be valuable.
Yeah.
Gives Prescott another option. But I do think, he was a problem. And guys like that, I'm hesitant to draft simply for the fact that you never know what could happen in the locker room.
No, absolutely. Like I said, it's a win-win. But you know what? It's a chance that you have to take. CD and Dak's window are closing. So their time is almost up. So for us, it was a great move.
Absolutely. So the next big thing, Derrick Henry, he is
the king.
Officially made it. So he officially signed 2 years, $30 million extension with the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, Derrick Henry has deserved it. I mean, he's been playing his ass off for a long time. And this last year, he dominated.
Dude, he's a stud all the way. I've said it past in the reels as well. That blew up. But I'll say it again. He's the man. I'd take him at 50 years old. He is our nowadays Earl Campbell. And I truly believe, like I always have, first ballot Hall of Fame. We just need to get him a ring. Go do that, Lamar.
He's the one older veteran I'm not worried about drafting this year in the first or second round.
No, absolutely. I mean, first might be a little too...
Second, you know.
Yeah, but no, again, he has the track record, and he's always come through. And I think a lot of people hesitate because they saw how Justice Hill was utilized. Maybe Mitchell, I forgot his first name, but definitely those guys I am not scared of, and I will draft Derrick Henry with confidence, 201 for sure at the turn.
In a full PPR league right now, he's RB7 going into the year, so definitely enticing. You'll see him go at the early second round, middle second round.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, look out for him. So next thing, Derek Carr.
Now, you see, there's a story. So this is a Derek Carr Oakland Raiders jersey. I got to show you guys because I'm not making it up, right? Stitched everything, right? Now, the story behind this jersey is my father got...
You better have a good story.
This is a good story. So my father bought me this jersey Christmas Eve, and I never forget it. Derek Carr was playing. He was having an MVP year, and then he tore his ACL when I was opening up the gift. He was never the same again. So we could say that possibly I ruined Derek Carr's career. But on a lighter note, this looks very good on me.
Wouldn't be the first person.
It wouldn't be the
career
first.
You ruined.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what do they call that? When the comes knocks on your door, the executioner.
Executioner?
Or whatever. So the Reaper. Yeah, the Reaper. So I definitely reaped him of a career because I opened up his jersey on Christmas Eve of 2016. But other than that, I always loved him as a player. I used to watch him at Fresno State with Devontae Adams back in the day, so I always loved his talent. But, you know, I guess he felt it was time to hang it up, the injuries. And, again, for me, I respect it. You know, he had a good career. His brother had an okay career, a little bit beat up. But make way for Tyler Shough because that's the Saints' new future.
And I think it's a valid reason. You know, he keeps getting hurt, and in the end... Aside from fantasy value, he wasn't producing much in the NFL anyway. Derek Carr was always kind of a mid player, and he hasn't really had good production.
Don't tell people that the first 3 weeks last year. The first 3 weeks, he looked like Joe Montana.
Listen, he hasn't had... I know, he did. He had... And then those first 2 games, you saw even Kamara was popping
Dallas,
off. They had
like 45 points.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
They were balling, and everybody thought they were going to be a force to be reckoned with. But now...
Yeah.
I mean, you see that he's getting hurt. That team itself is in shambles. They need to completely rebuild that system in general. And I'm worried for people like Alvin Kamara or Chris Olave, who we're about to talk about. But players like that remain. Rashid Shaheed, that poor guy, Rashid Shaheed, had a big connection, deep ball connection with Derek Carr. His value is out the window right now until proven otherwise. Right. So there's a lot of Saints players that are in limbo because of Derek Carr. So to me, Derek Carr, I wish you the best, but you know the Saints have to move on.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like Tyler Shough does give them that, a little bit of youth. He is known to move in the pocket, probably a little bit more than Derek Carr, even though Shuck is old for a rookie, 26 years old. I do believe that he brings youth and some experience to the quarterback room, even though he is an older side rookie. Think of Brandon Weeden. But for me, I think it's good for Carr. I mean, listen, go live your life, go live with your family. That's what it's mostly about. You know that.
And Tyler Shoe, in terms of fantasy value, dynasty,
Yeah.
this definitely makes him more enticing, makes him a big addition. You want to probably keep
Oh, absolutely.
hold on to him.
It's
keep him on your
definitely
roster.
somebody that you can take as a QB2 end of your draft, 12th round, and you just stash him on the bench. Things go well. I mean, we're going to get into schedules soon. 2025 schedule release just came out, Mike, this past Wednesday. But with the New Orleans Saints, they do have a good schedule. Why not get him as your QB2 and have him back up a la Dak Prescott or a Jalen Hurts, someone that, bye-week filler.
And that leads us to our next point, Chris Olave. So the Steelers are interested in Chris Olave. Right. This could resurrect a guy like Chris Olave if he moves over or if he gets traded to Pittsburgh somehow. Right. They're showing legitimate interest in him. If he gets traded, and let's say the Steelers do sign Aaron Rodgers, this can increase Chris Olave's value.
Well, also, too, I do, seeing Aaron Rodgers, especially in New York, he loves having reliable receivers. Chris Olave brings that. He is a possession receiver, and he runs crisp routes. So it is a Aaron Rodgers move, but I think they're looking to bring Rodgers in first, and then they'll go on and get Chris Olave. To be honest with you, as we sit here Friday, May 16th, I truly believe that Chris Olave will not be a Saint, and he will be traded. It just depends on the building block of Rodgers falling first. They want to make sure they have Rodgers in the building before they go get a Chris Olave. You're going to have Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, new running back, stout defense with Mason Rudolph. It doesn't make sense.
So Brock Purdy signed 5-year, $265 million contract extension with the 49ers. This includes $181 million in guaranteed, and that's $53 million a year. That is big money.
Yeah, I think he'll be buying his offensive line some presents. That's a solid deal from San Francisco. I mean, again, where are they going to turn? I don't like it personally as a business sense.
Who don't you like it for, though? Him or the Niners?
Well, I love it for Purdy. I mean, the guy went from 275, overall pick, Mr. Irrelevant, to be getting, 265?
Yeah, he was making $900,000 a year.
Yeah, so, it's a total win for him and his family. But for the Saints, I think it's a total loss. I mean, how many of these quarterbacks can you honestly say mid-range, not elite? I'm not talking about Joe Burrow. I'm not talking about Josh Allen. I'm not talking about Lamar Jackson. That's in a different class. He is not elite. He is right next. He is right under.
Yeah.
How many times do you see these guys fulfill the contract of being or getting to that elite level, getting that money? None. The answer is none. So I don't like this move, and I think it puts San Francisco in future cap hell. The only reason why they can do this is because they maneuvered the Kittle contract and they got rid of Debo. Let's face it. And, if Christian McCaffrey doesn't put up this year, he's probably gone too, because now all your assets are allocating to that quarterback position. Now, granted, could they find someone better? No, this draft was not quarterback, strength. And it really, for me, there were no other options out there. So with the Brock Purdy signing, it was something they had to do, but I don't have to like it. And thank God it's not my money.
Yeah, and for the 49ers, quarterbacks are limited right now. So being able to secure Brock Purdy, I guess for them, they thought he was valuable enough to give him that kind of money. But I agree with you. When it comes to cap space, he is definitely going to, cost them a
Suck
penny.
it all up.
And they're not going to be able to make as many moves, like, bring on or sign any wide receivers, any of these free agents right now. Right. They're going to be tied to Purdy, but...
Yeah, I mean, and now let's look at this fantasy perspective. In 2024, he finished as the quarterback 14. Mike, he finished, he played 15 games, so he was reliable last year. But still, I mean, quarterback 14, he averaged what 17 points per game on a game-to-game basis. I mean, that's okay. He had his blow-up games, but hopefully a Ricky Pearsall takes a next step forward, right? A Brandon Ayuk stays on the field, and the most important question of them all: can Christian McCaffrey be healthy? Because when Christian McCaffrey is healthy, he is the best player in the NFL. But we have to get there.
And I think there's two players that will benefit from Brock Purdy signing this deal. Number one, George Kittle. He'll continue to see the ball. And number two, Juwan Jennings. You're going to see that these two players specifically, I feel like, will keep that same energy that they did last year, if not even more. You're going to probably see another 47-point game from Juwan Johnson, maybe a big one from Kittle, a couple touchdown games. But these guys, they got their quarterback, and they have one of the easiest schedules of the season right now. In terms of strength of schedule, the 49ers have the easiest schedule, is what the numbers are saying.
Yeah.
So this could be big for guys like that.
Yeah. From a fantasy perspective, he can be a streamable option. Again, another late round pick that you can rely on. But from a business standpoint, sucks.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, man. I do. So next topic. Let's get into it. Let's talk about our favorite sophomores right now. Right now, who's due for a big year? Who's due for regression? Who are your favorites? We'll start with you, Puma. Is there any second-year sophomore right now that catches your eye specifically that you're looking to draft this year?
Definitely Michael Penix, Atlanta Falcons. I mean, you just alluded to schedules. The schedules came out. Atlanta has a top 3 strength of schedule. They have one of the top 3 easiest schedules in the NFL. Can be great for fantasy. I mean, you already saw when he came in and relieved Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk. He was getting the ball to Drake London. He was getting Kyle J.D. Pitts involved. He was getting Bijan the ball out of the backfield, satellite back explosion. So he was utilizing all his weapons, a la Michael Vick, because every time when I see him throw lefty, I think of that. But
yeah, it's very true.
I do think Michael Penix can be a star in this league and be a fantasy star this year. And that's my biggest pick right now and my biggest sleeper going forward. Also, too, I mean, Atlanta does have a great offensive line and something that can protect and get Michael Penix on the move when he's making those throws.
So in terms of like dynasty or super flex, you think Penix could be a great option?
Absolutely, especially in Superflex. I would even go as far as taking him in the 3rd round.
Really?
Yeah, and Superflex, because
quarterbacks are important.
Yeah, I've played a lot of them. You'll notice, like, you'll be having people salivating over Justin Fields. Like, they will take him in the 2nd round, just because now we know he's the starter of the Jets. Not to get away from Penix, but just for the Superflex question. Quarterbacks are very, very important. So if you could find a sleeper and add more skill positions, that's a great way to win.
Wow. You know what? That made me want to change my sophomore, because I was going to talk about Brian Thomas Jr. I have brought him up multiple times, but I do also have a quarterback I want to talk about. So my favorite quarterback right now, coming into his 2nd year, is Drake May. Drake May with the New England Patriots, they made a lot of additions this year. They re-signed Ramondre Stevenson. He got the extension. Travion Henderson, now drafted, Ohio State boy. Kyle Williams, another wide receiver over there. Will Campbell is now drafted. Part of that offense, if you've seen his videos, the guy is a psycho. He lives, breathes, sleeps football.
You heard the interview when they drafted him. He's like, I'll die for my quarterback. And you know what?
Yeah.
That's the guy I want to be stuck in a foxhole with, because I know we're going to get out.
And
so
honestly,
I like that pick.
And honestly, that's why I think with Drake May, with all these options now, you already saw his production last year. He does also have the ability to move. He runs with the ball.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to get hit. 2nd year, so he's still young, fresh, and he's got a lot of energy. Also, new coaching system over there. Mike Vrabel, what is he going to do? They want to build a whole team around Drake May. So in terms of Superflex, in terms of Dynasty, this can be a great addition. And them also have one of the easiest schedules right now. So Drake May, all the way. What do you say? It's May. Let's go.
Mayday.
That's it.
I like that. Call me maybe.
Wait, who else? So what? There's a couple other notable guys. You got obviously Bucky Irving, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, you know who I love the most, Lad McConkey.
McConkey.
There is no solid one with the LA Superchargers. So for me, Lad McConkey takes that next step. For me, I see flashes of Cooper Kupp, Julian Edelman. Not only does he play the slot, he plays everywhere. This kid's a stud. He was a sleeper back when he was drafted last year out of Georgia. Jim Harbaugh knows how to utilize him. I truly believe he takes that next step and ascends to the Superchargers' #1 wide receiver. And he is sneaky pick come draft day. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think he's somebody that is super valuable now, especially because they have other players that they drafted over there. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to help move that offense.
Well, Mike, what do we say? Like, the standard right now in fantasy is PPR, right? So, you stack 1 and 2 rounds with running backs. You could definitely come in the 3rd round and come grab a Lad McConkey, and your team is set. You have those wide receivers that go over the middle, catch passes, and then you're building your team with the running back game.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, that's a great pick. And I think McConkey is a safe bet, no matter which way you spin it. So
yeah, well, we like to give you guys outside the box players. The Bucky Irvings, the BTJs, the neighbors. I mean, listen, a lot of prognosticators are going to be on them, rightfully so. But you guys have to train your minds to draft 1 through maybe 16 rounds. So we're going to get you ready for that because everybody could draft in the 1st round.
But I almost sometimes like the sophomores a little bit better than the rookies just because you already know they got a taste of the NFL. Yeah. They're also still young.
Right.
And I think somebody like, for example, Tyrone Tracy Jr., I think some people are down on him right now because Cam Scatterbo just came to town. Now, granted, that was a really highly classed running back. A lot of people were big on him coming into the draft. He's a bruiser. And Tyrone Tracy, this is now his 2nd year, but he is 25. So he's a little older, but the guy, I mean, we've seen him come in here. He was ripped, shredded, looked fantastic. He looked like he was in great shape. He's been working out hard. We keep in touch with him. So I have to assume the inside scoop. This is a real inside scoop. I think Tyrone Tracy, you don't want to sleep on him this year. As a sophomore going into this, I think that all these additions also help him. Now they got some quarterback play. They might have one of the toughest schedules, but if they have to throw the ball, Tyrone Tracy, ex-wide receiver from Purdue, he can make plays happen.
If I was having Mike Meals' paninis and Bang Bang Chicken, I'd be performing too. So definitely Mike has the inside scoop on his nutrition, that's for sure.
Well, listen, he is very specific. He just wants grilled chicken, vegetables, starches, so potatoes, rice, healthy carbs.
Good.
But aside from that, even if I didn't know him, I was still going to bet on this guy just because I know that second-year players can sometimes be more valuable than rookies because of their experience.
And they've already gotten their feet wet.
And you say all the time, you like guys that have 4 years in college before they come in because they have all that groundwork, all that experience.
Right.
Tyrone Tracy had 4 years of college. Then he went to the NFL, played another year. So he's got 5 years in with Cam Scatterbo, who's only played 2. I mean, I think people are really underestimating his ability to get in the game this year and make things happen. So that's my sophomore favorite. But aside from them, also you want to keep an eye on the veterans. So there's veterans on new teams. By the way, speaking of the Knicks, we were talking about them earlier. Did you see Cardi B and Stephon Diggs?
After you mentioned it, I went and I watched some Sports Center, and they had that on there. But I did see that. Hopefully that works out for them. That's always fun to see the stars out.
Honestly, all jokes aside, I think these outside things, they're very, you don't have to pay too much attention to them, but it obviously gives you an idea of what's going on.
It's a note. It's a footnote.
You can say that a guy like Travis Kelce, once he got into the spotlight and started dating Taylor Swift.
Right, it went the opposite.
You saw what started to happen.
Yeah.
The Swift effect, right? What do they call it? The Taylor Swift effect?
You know what I think it is? The girl can't be bigger than than the athlete. So the athlete has to have some aura of being a little bit bigger, because you can see Tom Brady when he was with Giselle. Tom still was running the show. He's still bigger than her. She's a Victoria's Secret model. Taylor Swift is known worldwide.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was your guy. What, Stephon Diggs?
No, that's not my guy. So when it comes to the veterans, I'll tell you right now, and a lot of people were worried. Some people are worried. But I'm here to tell you, rest assured, do not worry about Najee Harris.
But Mike, what happens if he doesn't get enough touches?
This guy. Let me tell you something right now. If you remember 2 years ago, David Montgomery got traded to from the Chicago Bears to the Detroit Lions. Or no, I'm sorry.
He signed.
David Montgomery signed.
Same thing. Yeah.
He signed with the Detroit Lions. And then that same year, they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round. And everybody was worried about his value, but look what happened. They both proved they can shine together alongside, and I think we're about to see something very similar with Najee. People are down on him because he came from a so-so regime and didn't perform as well as he did his rookie year. But Najee Harris still has some steam in that engine, and now with a better offensive line and Jim Harbaugh's system, even with Omarion Hampton next to him, I think both these guys are going to shine. Right now, he's being drafted RB33. I think at that value, you catch him in late rounds. Steal. I think he's a startable asset, and you'll see going forward. He doesn't miss games. So I'm willing to bet on Najee Harris this year.
Nice. For me, Mike, it's DK Metcalf, right? He was traded from Seattle. He had a down year with Seattle. That's basically because Geno Smith was in and out, not healthy. Team was going downhill. I think he'd get rejuvenated with Pittsburgh, but this is only if Aaron Rodgers comes and joins. Aaron Rodgers does come. I believe it could be a total breakout season for DK Metcalf. I mean, let's face it, George Pickens is gone. The volume has to go somewhere. Why not to Pickens? And he could take over the show in Pittsburgh. And guess who he plays week 1? Our New York Jets. So that will be a battle to watch. Sauce Gardner versus DK Metcalf. How you doing? Welcome to the Big Apple. Let's see.
I think it's home too, right?
Yeah, it's home. Welcome to the Big Apple.
Sunday, 1 p.m.?
1 p.m. If Rodgers already committed, I think we would have been the first Sunday night game. But in MetLife with Pittsburgh versus the Jets. But he hasn't committed, so they just left it at 1 o'clock, meaning that's Justin Fields' revenge game at the moment.
Dude, I didn't even realize. See, the NFL is really smart when they're making these schedules. They really like to coordinate it properly and make sure that X players are playing X teams or X coaches.
Yeah, sure.
And you know what? I love you, NFL. That's why I always watch. But speaking of schedules, didn't you want to do a special segment?
Mike, we got the 2025 strength of schedule. How you doing? Coming to town. This past Wednesday, it was revealed what teams are playing where. And for fantasy, this is huge for us and the community because we're going to play a little game of who has a bad schedule, who has a good schedule pertaining to fantasy. You're going to go first, my friend. Who has a good schedule?
A good schedule that I like?
Yeah, a good schedule that you like and players that you would love to draft from this team.
I think the obvious pick right now is the San Francisco 49ers. Everybody is down on them from last year, and now this gives them a chance to redeem themselves. Easy schedule. Brock Purdy's back. Christian McCaffrey is supposedly healthy. Give these guys a chance. Look to draft Jawan Johnson late round. This might be a wide receiver too. Look for Kittle in the 3rd or 4th round. You don't have to go for McBride or Bowers. So I think with all these guys, with a strength of schedule like that, I think they're going to have a good chance to redeem themselves and maybe make the playoffs this year. I don't know, but they've done a lot, and I think that they should see a lot of value this year.
Great. No, I love that pick. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple, Simon. Mike Meals.
Seriously.
My great schedule team that I want to pick is the Atlanta Falcons, right? And this goes back to my sophomore stud, right? And Michael Penix. In that division, first what I like to look at is the team or the guys that I'm picking from this team, what division do they play in? The NFC South is very weak. You have the New Orleans Saints, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Carolina Panthers, teams that you could pick on their defense, and that's where you want to go,
6
especially
games
for
a year.
a young stud quarterback who has Drake London, who has Kyle Pitts, who's yet to be unlocked, Bijan Robinson, who could take a 5-yard out and take it to the house, Chris Johnson, home run, how you doing? So for me, it's the Atlanta Dirty Bird Falcons.
Man, that was a really good one. And honestly, you're right about that because
Yeah.
those 6 games that they're playing
Right.
against in-division games, I mean, these are mediocre teams.
And and do realize that Atlanta plays in a dome themselves.
True.
And when you go to New Orleans, that's a dome. So right off the bat, you got 4 dome games. 2 dome games, I'm sorry. 2
Yeah.
dome games. But still, like, that saves you from the elements, more scoring, and more back and forth. So I love it. I love the setting. Now we're gonna get into our bad. Who's a team with their strength of schedule that you want to avoid, Mike?
So I want to avoid Dallas Cowboys players with the exception of CeeDee Lamb. I think in the first round, CeeDee Lamb is an absolute lock. No matter what, he's going to get a ton of targets, and he's an alpha. So CeeDee Lamb, you can bet that he's going to be okay. But what about George Pickens? What about Javonte Williams? They got a tough schedule ahead, and these are players that they've proven somewhat, but they haven't really proven themselves, especially on a new team. And the reason why they're off their last team is because they didn't really prove themselves.
Right.
George Pickens has yet to produce. He's got the attitude problem. Javonte Williams had injuries, yet to really produce or do anything spectacular. And Miles Sanders, who's also now on Dallas, this guy is, pushing 30-something, whatever. I don't know, and I don't want to draft him. So Dak Prescott, that's another one.
It's like team has been a little bit.
Exactly. And Dak Prescott, I think, is the season you saw from him 2 years ago was probably his peak in fantasy. You might not see that again anytime soon, where he finished as QB1, dominated, and with the production along with CeeDee Lamb, of course they were beasts, but I don't see it happening.
That's
again.
a great point. And look who they open up with. The Philadelphia Eagles in
Eagles.
Philadelphia. I mean, they always give him a tough time. And now you have Dak Prescott going in there. I don't care if he has Jerry Rice at wide receiver. That front 4 in the Super Bowl, Zach Bond, Jalen Carter, and friends, they will get after you. It will be a tough road for Dak on Thursday night, opening the season, and
Good call.
beyond on that.
If you don't want to lose your first week,
Yeah, don't play these teams. Don't play these players. For me, it's the Green Bay Packers. And everyone will say you cannot trust Green Bay Packer wide receivers. Well, now we can't trust Green Bay Packer wide receivers, and they have a bad schedule. Mike, they have the 6th hardest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
That is very tough sledding, especially with an older Josh Jacobs. He might regress. Jordan Love, I do love that they did get Matthew Golden, our boy, so it's an extra weapon. But again, where are these points coming from? I mean, he's going to be playing tougher defenses. Detroit Lions, remember the same way I thought about the NFC South? How about the NFC North? Detroit Lions, they get Aiden Hutchinson back, more pass rush. Minnesota Vikings had the most takeaways in the NFC last year, right? And last but not least, Chicago Bears. They have studs that could get after the ball.
Their defense.
And get after you on offense. So right now, to me, Green Bay is the worst team in that division. And I just can't trust them right now. And with that schedule, I'm trying to avoid Green Bay players, with the exception maybe Josh Jacobs, because running back is such a scarcity.
So Drew Rosenhaus, I guess the agent for Jaden Reed, wanted a meeting with the owners of Green Bay, the GM and everybody, because they drafted Golden, and they want to know what his stance is over there. Like, how's our boy doing? And they told him he's still the wide receiver 1.
Yeah. Listen,
I'm like, who's the real wide receiver 1 over there?
Yeah, I guess some of it is LaFleur. You can't really trust their game planning. You know who the wide receiver 1 is and the RB1 is? Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, yeah.
Everything runs through Josh Jacobs. You could see, especially on that Thursday night game when he scored, 3 or 4 touchdowns against Detroit Lions. They go through him. LaFleur loves running the ball. That's part of the reason why Rodgers hated being there, because he would take the ball out of his hand and give it to Aaron Jones. So for fantasy-wise, other than Josh Jacobs, I really can't trust anybody over there in Green Bay.
Yeah, that was like that last year. Green Bay, great NFL team, so-so fantasy. So
Right. More of a better
Damn.
real team.
I love that. And honestly, I think we need to do a special segment or a special episode where we talk about all different players with the strength of schedule, because I really like that, man. I think we really got to break down people so that they can see what it's like, especially when you're making draft decisions.
Yeah.
Is it this guy or that guy? You know, look at the schedule. There's a lot of factors.
Yeah. And that's definitely a factor, but at the end of the day, if the player has talent, you know, you're drafting your Josh Allens and Lamar Jacksons anyway, but this is for people that are going a little bit deeper.
Absolutely. Well, that'll about do it. We'll wrap this one up. We got rookie episode coming up next.
Yes.
We're going to talk about guys that
Can't
turn
wait.
us on. Huh?
Yeah, you know, I feel a little something. Talk to the manager.
Hello. Hey, so be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know what else you want to see. Make sure you're following our Instagram page. You see our pretty faces on there every day, but with some good information too.
Yeah.
We're not just sitting here modeling for you.
It's about time.
We're giving you as much information as you can to make good decisions, and we love doing this. We've been working really hard. We're about to work a lot harder. Again, thanks for being with us. I'm Mike Meals, alongside the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend,
Joey Puma. How you doing?
He wanted to hear that. I want to hear I'm a legend. You are a fucking legend, Puma.
Thank you. I try.
Again, we're the Fantasy Wise guys. Yeah.
Till
We'll see
next
you
time,
soon.
right? Master your game.